Now we shall talk about now the gastrointestinal hormones. Gastrointestinal hormones. The hormones that are secreted by the alimentary canal epithelium are collectively called gastrointestinal hormones. The hormones secreted by the innermost mucosa layer of alimentary canal are called gastrointestinal hormones. These gastrointestinal hormones are secreted at the site of entry of food into the alimentary canal, and they in turn stimulate the digestive gland to secrete their digestive juices. Unless there is involvement of gastrointestinal hormone, there is no release of digestive juice from the digestive glands. Now to start with, you have number 1, gastrin hormone. Gastrin hormone. This gastrin hormone is secreted by gastric mucosa. Secreted by gastric mucosa. That is mucosa of stomach. Secreted by mucosa of stomach. And what is the function of this? It ensures secretion of gastric juice. It ensures the release of gastric juice. That is, it stimulates gastric glands to release gastric juice. So unless there is involvement of gastrin here now, gastric glands cannot secrete gastric juice. The next you have enterogastrin. Enterogastrin. Okay, this is also called GIP, gastrin inhibiting peptide. What is it? Gastrin inhibiting peptide or enterogastrin. The enterogastrin is secreted by duodenal mucosa. Secreted by duodenal mucosa. Secreted by mucosa of duodenum. What is the function of enterogastrin? Enterogastrin checks excess secretion of gastric juice. Checks excess secretion of gastric juice. It prevents excess formation of gastric juice. Like both of them are antagonistic to each other. Gastrin promotes secretion of gastric juice. Enterogastrin demotes secretion of gastric juice. The next you have cholecystokinin. Cholecystokinin is commonly called CCK, and enterogastrin is commonly called EG. Now the CCK is also secreted by duodenal mucosa, and it initiates contractions in the gallbladder and thereby ensures the discharge of bile juice. Ensures the discharge of bile juice from gallbladder. Ensures discharge of bile juice from gallbladder. That is the function of cholecystokinin. The next you have another hormone called secretin. Secretin, commonly called SC, commonly referred to as SC. Now this is secreted by duodenal mucosa. Secreted by the same source, that is duodenal mucosa. And what is the function here now? It stimulates pancreas to secrete pancreatic juice that contains more amount of water and NaHCO3 here now. So stimulates secretion of pancreatic juice with NaHCO3 and water. With NaHCO3 and water. That is the function of secretin here now. The next we have another hormone, pancreozymin. Pancreozymin, commonly referred to as PZ. It is also secreted by duodenal mucosa. It is also secreted by duodenal mucosa. Now it stimulates pancreas to secrete pancreatic juice with more amount of enzymes. More of enzymes and less of salts. So for both of them, the organ of stimulation is the same. What is it here now? Both of them stimulate the pancreas. But in the influence of secretin here now, pancreatic juice contains more amount of salts and less of enzymes now. Under the influence of pancreozymin, the pancreatic juice now contains more quantity of enzymes and less quantity of salts now. The next you have diocrenin. Another hormone you have diocrenin. Diocrenin is secreted by, it is also secreted by duodenal mucosa. Also secreted by duodenal mucosa, and it stimulates Brunner glands. It stimulates Brunner glands of duodenum to secrete alkaline fluids. Brunner glands are there. Remember, dear student, the most important point here now for the competitive exam point of view, most of the digestive glands are situated in the mucosa layer of the alimentary canal, whereas Brunner glands are embedded in the submucosa of the duodenum. Unlike intestinal glands, gastric glands, then Peyer's patches and all, they are embedded in the submucosa of duodenum, and they secrete an alkaline fluid under the influence of diocrenin hormone secreted by duodenal mucosa. Next, seventh one, the seventh hormone here now, you have another hormone called hepatocrinin. Hepatocrinin. This hepatocrinin is also secreted by duodenal mucosa. Duodenal mucosa, and it stimulates liver to synthesize hepatic juice or bile juice. It stimulates liver, hepatocytes of the liver, to synthesize hepatic juice or bile juice. The next you have another hormone called enterocrinin. Enterocrinin. This enterocrinin is secreted by intestinal mucosa. Secreted by the mucosa of ileum, that is intestine, and it stimulates crypts of Lieberkühn. It stimulates crypts of Lieberkühn to secrete intestinal juice. Stimulates crypts of Lieberkühn to secrete intestinal juice. The next you have another hormone called willikinin. Willikinin is secreted by intestinal mucosa. Secreted by intestinal mucosa, and it stimulates villi to enhance the rate of absorption of digested food. Enhance rate of absorption of digested food. Enhances the rate of absorption of digested food. That is function of willikinin here now. The next you have antholin. It is also a hormone secreted by intestinal mucosa. Intestinal mucosa. It reduces acidity in the gut. Reduces acidity in the gut. Reduces acidity in the gut here now. Then next you have another hormone called urogastrin. Urogastrin. This urogastrin is secreted by intestinal mucosa. It is also secreted by intestinal mucosa. It prevents bowel evacuation. It prevents bowel evacuation. That is, unless the food is subjected to thorough digestion, it is not allowed to leave the gut in the form of solid waste by means of urogastrin. That is, in a nutshell, you can say it helps in retention of food in the alimentary canal to facilitate thorough digestion of food. So these are all the gastrointestinal hormones now secreted by the mucosa layer of intestine to facilitate the process of digestion.